Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into another video. No camera today because I just want you guys to focus on what you're seeing. Now, forget the image. The image is not exactly what we need to see, but listen, a friend of mine called Old Victor, you probably already have heard about him. For a long time, he's been working on trying to bring old recolors back that were removed back with the removal of the piece in parts system. And, a lot of people enjoyed it. Some people even, started using the files that he created to use and in-game the secondary skins, the recolors and so on. Listen, I gotta put a warning here. Actually, two warnings before we go into this video. The first one is that altering files of the game, specifically for stuff like that, it will literally get you banned. Like, you might not be insta-banned, but somebody might see it. Somebody might go and do a ticket report with some footage, with some match IDs. They'll check your game, they'll check your account. They'll check the replays, and they'll very much likely ban you for altering files. So definitely do not do this. I mean, it's one thing to maybe like go in a file to unlock FPS. Still not recommended, but it's, it's something that a lot of people do for just having the maximum amount of FPS they can and so on. It's not literally breaking the game or changing stuff that the company is said to not touch. So that's one thing. Okay, the second warning, it is for what you're about to see. You might go like, oh, if he can do it, why don't the devs can? Listen, this isn't as simple as just recoloring textures as it was, well, technically speaking, it's almost the same process here. Okay, like we also have to take in consideration to the V effects, okay, so the effects of the attacks and so on. And I still know that some people will not understand this, all right, but you have to understand it's not that simple. Then you also have to understand that what he does here is he actually trades files of existing skins in the game, which means that what happens is he's actually stealing the place to one skin for this other skin to go in. Because every time that one skin needs to get into the game, they need to work on putting it in the list. They need to put it the preview once you select it. They need to make the entire equip button work. They need to make another section work when you're picking the characters to select the skins. They need to make a connection between the skin to I don't know, the splash art or whatever for when you're loading into the game. They need to make it work when it comes to information of the store and so on. How can you achieve it? Because obviously they can't just slam a skin in there and like, how are you gonna get it? Is it just there? Right? For this case, these skins are supposed to be like masteries, like golden skins from level 50, but he's thinking of a level 100. I still think level 75 would be more than enough. I don't really think that a lot of people could even reach level 100 to every single character unless they spend their entire lives. And looking at the state of the game, I really think that it definitely isn't very convincing for people to go to level 100 with a lot of those characters. So, yeah. So they also need to work into putting it in the section of the mastery to let you know that once you reach that level, then it has to connect to the level so the game understands that once you reach that level, you get the skin. And then they have to make it work, the pop-up and so on, for when you get the skin, it shows up in screen. So it's a massive pain to just put one skin in the game, right? There's a lot of sections involved. You got UI, you got art, you got coding. There's a ton of things for just one simple little thing. So before we go into this, I know I'm doing a long intro, we're at 4 minutes already, but I have to put this disclaimer on. I don't want people to go around and say, oh, Old Victor did it, why don't the devs do it? That is not how things work, okay? Stop putting the devs down, okay? They have a lot of passion. I've been working with a lot of them for this entire time. I am not defending them, although, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but I am not defending them. I'm just telling you the truth. I saw how they work. I see the things that are necessary to be done. I see their limitations. I see what they have to go through every time they need to put a patch, a hotfix, and so on. That costs money to the company and so on, okay? So these are not easy things to do. If you heard that in the back, that was probably my cat just pouring the bowl into the floor or some crap that happened. Okay, but let's get into this. So Victor decided to retexture a couple of skins, allowing us to preview what the skins of level 100 or in this case for me, it would be level 75, but how the skins would look like. And this is how he would love to see the level 100 or 75 skin for Genos. And I gotta say, it looks amazing. Also, notice one thing. Parts of this glowing gold here, those are already there from previous skins, and he's trying to also adjust just the rest as much as possible. Obviously, it can be done to have you see there the belt have that glowing effect in there, because all of that is already in game. And well, with the D3, D11 enabled, you're able to see this. So it's like the reflections and so on, metallized materials and so on. So you can see it looks amazing. I really enjoy this one. I'm gonna be honest, I prefer this one 100% instead of the golden skin. He also just showing you some emotes here to see that everything works. But obviously, like for example, if this was to be done correctly, even this emote here, it should have a different color here, which this is not really easy. He also went through the trouble actually showing us in game here how it looks like. And before you start asking, can this be done for live? No. And I mean, it sort of can, because it would be the same system that he did for the recolors that everybody's using and so on sometimes. But it will get you banned, first of all. Second of all, it's not necessarily, you know, complete. The visual for the gun and the body is okay, but what happens next is that, well, you know, most of the other effects are just default, which is unfortunate because it's a bit more complicated. Even the ultimate, you can see all of that. I'm gonna be honest, even on gold skins, sometimes these are missing, and I still criticize it a lot. I still say that it definitely should work. Surprisingly enough, the shots for the weapon are actually working. I'm guessing he stole them from the golden weapon, which is actually amazing. But for example, even that little void grip there, to me, it should have been the purplish rainbow kind of thing. All right, he did it for Genos, and then I was actually asking him, question, could you do it for Vora? And he's like, yeah, give me a moment. And so he worked on Vora. And I gotta say, initially he showed me a picture or two. Let me see if I can actually find it here so I can tell you exactly how it looked like. So initially he showed me this picture and I was like, it looks okay. But I guess that it was because of the difference here. In game, her skin, as you can see, the skin is more, less pale than the original golden skin. That is because everything is so white here, the hair, the feathers, the weapon, the gloves, that it would just like look, she's completely a ghost from top to bottom, right? So it'd be looking super weird. Initially when I saw this, I was like, the hair seems weird. You also, like, as you can see, the weapon here is black, but obviously his idea was to do it in white, which looks amazing as well. I love it a lot. Now, I did ask him, however, I had this picture here from Ram Royale, the new white and gold skins they did there, and I thought, okay, maybe it would actually work with blonde hair. And he tried it, and well, it doesn't look bad, but maybe the white actually looks a bit better at this point. So yeah, if you saw the blonde hair version on Twitter, that would have been my fault. I'm sorry. I did ask him if he could do a golden pre-corrupted weapon. However, he tried to go for the rainbow kind of thing on the crystal, which to me, I would still just go for plain white or something like this. This is how it actually looks like in game. It looks amazing. Honestly, I'm still upset that, you know, she didn't have a golden version of the pre-corrupted, since that is the real Vora before she gets corrupted at all. This is obviously with the blonde hair here, but he got to show us here how the skin looks in game, and you're gonna be able to see, like I said, for example, that the effects will not change the colors. As you can see, the attacks, he did change them to be with the golden weapon, which is something he can do. But for example, that's also a flaw from the golden weapon, from the golden skin, which I keep complaining about, which is, for example, if you're doing the inspection, you see the red thing. This happens as well on the golden weapon. And when you do the dark siphon, which is such a similar attack to the main fire, it becomes red, which to me is just like, you see there, right there, literally. I'm like, why? The tendril's also red. The obliteration, he's gonna do it right now as well, I believe. It's also red, even the ultimate and the effects on the screen. So yeah, although the skin does look amazing and I feel like it's really awesome, I feel like there's a couple of golden skins that definitely need a rework. And I also think that after they're done with the golden skins, if they do have time, okay? Because they're always working on other stuff, other content, because this doesn't bring any sort of, let's say, revenue to the company. And that's interesting for the company, and it's interesting for us. Some of you might be like, oh, but why would I care if Hi-Rez makes money? Well, because if they don't make money, folks, how exactly are they going to keep the game going? How exactly are we going to have patches? How exactly are we going to have fixes, new content, or the servers to even remain up? Okay, all of this costs money. So if you're of the opinion that no, they should stop focusing on skins and not get money, I'm sorry to say, but you're on the wrong side of the thing here, because that's not how things work. Now, finally, let me just show you another thing that he worked on. Let me just take away the sound. Oh, go back. Oh God, I broke it. Okay, where is it? Sorry. And now we have an ad, so we're gonna let this play here for a second. But basically, he wanted the golden skin of the old Victor, and I'm gonna be honest, this actually looks fire. I would definitely do it. I know that some people would be like, oh, but if Victor has it, then other characters should have it, like Sky and so on. I gotta be perfectly honest. Why not? These champions were the champions that Paladins had the love for, right? A lot of us started when these characters were like this, right? The Victor then got reworked. Okay, I understand that, but like, even then, these were the original ones, okay? This weapon actually exists, and it was removed from the game. Back in the day of the VIP store, when the golden weapons were firstly introduced, this was the one that was there, and they ended up removing it. So these things, I gotta be honest, I mean, maybe it's complicated to have a lot of things, and maybe they had to remove some of these to make space for others, but I still think that these characters deserve some love. Even their old recolors, their old reworked versions, pre-corrupt reworked versions, and so on. Okay, I'm sorry. That's just me. But yeah, there you go. This is pretty much what he's been working on. Obviously, this doesn't mean that developers should have an easy job doing that, but the purpose of this video is to ask you guys one simple thing. Would you guys love to see the masteries of level 100/75? Would you prefer it to be level 75 or 100? And do you like the color palette of the white and gold? Because if you do like it, I will pass this information along while I'm still in the OC to Thunderrush. I want to see the reactions, I want to see the comments, and I'm going to try to pass it along to them, okay? But please be respectful. Again, like I said, it's not easy to just add things into the game. Most of what Victor's doing is recoloring a couple of textures on some files that he still actually can get his hands to, and also replacing existing things in the game so he doesn't have to go through a lot. He also goes into a version of the client that, well, you know, it's not exactly the same as we can actually be in, okay? It's a complicated process. It's, you know, yeah, you could say that it's definitely bannable, but I mean, I don't think what Victor is doing is harmful for anybody. But I still want you guys to understand, that's the harmful part of this. I still want you guys to understand the developers are putting enough, like a lot of work into this. They don't have enough hands for like doing tons of projects at the same time. And what they're doing so far right now, I feel like it's still amazing, even though we are at the point that we are right now. They're putting a lot of work and a lot of love into it, okay? And I don't want to see any comments of like, if Rom Royale did it, then Paladin should do it as well. It's not the same thing. Rom Royale still has a lot of room to play with, okay? The game is still very much close to its initial state, while Paladins, however, has too many layers on top of each other, making it super complicated to do anything at all. So thank you so much for watching. That has been it. I will be waiting for your comments down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.